All right. Now we're going to see the rest of the American Revolution. The red patriot blood and the red British redcoats. Well, we left off with the causes. Now this leads to the Declaration. We actually declare our independence at the Second Continental Congress. The First Continental Congress sent a petition to the king, but the second one drafts the Declaration of Independence. This is in 1776. Jefferson declares a fix. This is where the Declaration of Independence is actually written and signed. The Declaration of Independence does several things. It lists the reasons, the complaints, and grievances that the United States is officially overthrowing British rule. Here is a copy of the Declaration of Independence. Yes, it is the real thing. Shh, I have to take it back to the Smithsonian tonight. And we see all of the signatures. Now, who wrote it? Well, that would be Thomas Jefferson. Thomas Jefferson, a young 33-year-old man, wrote the Declaration of Independence. In it, he included our inalienable rights, the rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Your inalienable rights are rights that all people are born with, and they can't be taken away. All men are created equal. Well, that is something that Abigail Adams was saying. Don't forget the ladies. Remember the ladies, she said. She was the wife of John Adams, who also helped to write the Declaration of Independence. He was an editor, a critical friend of Thomas Jefferson, and so was Benjamin Franklin. You know, he was into everything. He was the inventor of discoverer of electricity and inventor, and helped to write the Declaration of Independence. Well, let's see what happens into the actual fighting. Well, it starts with the militia. The colonists make voluntary citizen soldier troops ready at a minute's notice. They get ready and start getting weapons, and they hide them at Lexington and Concord. This is about 20 miles outside of Boston. Well, Lexington and Concord become the first battle of the American Revolution. The shot heard round the world. This begins the American Revolution and starts many other battles. One of the famous Navy, the one that starts the Navy, is John Paul Jones. John Paul Jones is the father of the U.S. Navy. He was quoted as saying, "I have not yet begun to fight." Of course, the leader of the Americans was none other than George Washington. It was a very, very difficult time George Washington and his troops had. He lost many of the early battles as the commander of the American Revolution. Well, in this, one of the very difficult times was at Valley Forge, where his men had bloody footprints in the snow. It was freezing at Valley Forge, and they left footprints where they were starving and needed training. Well, one of the friends of George Washington was Marquis de Lafayette. Yes, it looks like Marcus, but that's not his name. Marquis de Lafayette. He was a Frenchman who was very rich, and he wanted to help for liberty. He wanted to aid the troops, and he came actually and helped them train at Valley Forge. He supplied them clothing. Well, in that he is French, it also leads to what happens at Saratoga. At Saratoga, this is the battle that turns around to victory. That's why we call Saratoga the turning point. The turning point in the American Revolution. It was a huge win for the Americans, and it looked like that they could actually win. France then becomes our ally. Thus, our French friend, Marquis de Lafayette. Also, we have the Spanish, Bernardo de Galvez. He was the governor, and he stopped in the Spanish territories over here where Texas is today. He stopped the British from using the Mississippi River and helps give aid to the Patriots by closing the Mississippi River to the British. Well, the British leader in the South was Lord Cornwallis. Lord Cornwallis, sort of a funny name, was the commander of all of the British forces in the southern region. He moves his men from the south towards the north, and he gets stuck at Yorktown. At Yorktown, Cornwallis is surrounded. He is surrounded by George Washington and the French troops, and they get stuck by the French Navy. This is the last battle of the American Revolution, and England is forced to sign the Treaty of Paris, where the United States wins the war and land. England refuses, but has to acknowledge the United States as a country. This treaty ends the American Revolution, and now the United States has all of the land from the Atlantic all the way to the Mississippi River, and then the French, for their help, they get the lands to the Rocky Mountains and share that area also with Spain. Well, that was the American Revolution. I hope that helps you study your flashcards.